Hello and welcome to another episode of Extreme Knife Makeover, Benchmade Edition. On today's episode, we will be upgrading, at least what in my opinion will be an upgrade, the Benchmade 940-2. So, kind of all-time favorite classic Benchmade model in the 940. Absolutely love it, but I wanted to do something a little extra, as I often do with hardware. We've talked about this in the past, and so that's what we're going to do today. You can probably tell by the length of the video, I'm not going to show the entire process because that can get a little boring. As we know, the pivots can be a little tricky sometimes, so we will cut to the final product here in a moment. But I wanted to say a couple things about the knife in its current state, as well as the products I'll be using. So this is a Benchmade 940-2 G10 handles, and I've made two changes to it since I've purchased it. The first change is I swapped out the factory 940 clip for a Benchmade bug out mini deep ride clip. So I did make that change. In addition, I changed the thumb stud. So I put on a gold colored thumb stud that I had an extra of that comes from the Benchmade bug out. The 535 GRY bug out that comes with that colored thumb stud from the factory. So had an extra one of those, so I did change that. The factory thumb stud on this is silver. So I made those two changes, otherwise everything's factory. All of the hardware comes black, and it comes with green colored barrel spacers. And I'm just personally not too keen on the green. So I wanted to do something different with the hardware, as I often do. So I would typically order my hardware from Blades We Love on eBay. I've talked about him a number of times and still highly recommend Steve at Blades We Love and all of his products. But he wasn't offering what I was looking for. And there's a gentleman that I've been following on Instagram for a very long time whose eBay store and Instagram account are something to the effect of XXX_adrenaline_XXX. You may be familiar with this gentleman as well. And this stuff came from Australia. That's where he's based out of. And everything is made to order. So when you place an order, that's when he makes the products. And it took about a week from the time I placed the order till it was shipped. So about a week lead time for him to manufacture the product. And there may be some things that he offers that he just has in stock, but in some conversations with him, he was telling me that kind of his process is that he makes everything to order, which I can appreciate. And I'm fine, waiting a little while. So yeah, about 8 days to be shipped, and then about a week to arrive at my door. Free shipping through DHL. So to get here in a week from Australia, I think is perfectly acceptable. So I ordered two products. I ordered the barrel spacers. That's one individual product. And I ordered all the other hardware. So pocket clip screws, body screws, the pivot collar, or the pivot screw rather. And then he also included a little free gift, which is a skull lanyard bead that looks pretty sweet. I won't be using it on the 940 because the 940 doesn't have a lanyard tube, but that is what I ordered. And all of this cost me about $50 US for the two different products that I ordered. So stand by, and when we come back, you'll see the finished product. All right, we are back. So that didn't take too long. Definitely the easiest disassembly and reassembly I've done to date. Getting that pivot lined up and put back in only took about 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. So that was good. So there it is, the brass colored titanium hardware, both sides, and those barrel spacers as well. Got rid of that green, which makes me happy. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the overall look. I think it looks pretty good. And I will say that despite my obsessive compulsive tendencies, like legit tendencies, the difference in color between the thumb stud and the rest of the hardware doesn't really bother me that much as I thought it would. So I think I'll just leave it the way it is. If I were to place another order through the same vendor on eBay at some point in the future, I may just throw in a thumb stud set just to complete it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do that at this point. I don't think it's necessary because I think, again, it is close enough and I'm perfectly happy with it. So I've got a couple questions and want your feedback. So I got it dialed in, nice and perfectly centered. Loctite at the pivot, just kind of where I want it, so it just kind of drops shut. and I added just a couple little kind of micro drops of lube just to make sure it's all just running on all cylinders. So very happy with the way it turned out. But here's my 2 questions where I need your feedback. The first is these 3 screws right here towards the end here. So these are to protect the threads on the pocket clip screws on the show side, where I do not have a pocket clip, obviously. Those screws do not come factory. Those are just open holes. And I'm wondering, do you think that looks too busy towards the back of the knife, or do you think I should leave them? Do you think it looks good? I'm kind of torn. I don't think it looks bad, but I'm used to just seeing 3 empty holes. So let me know what you think. Should those screws stay or should they go? Second question is on the pocket clip. So I have a bunch of spare Benchmade bug out hardware, thumb studs, pocket clips, all kinds of stuff. So I do have a solid black pocket clip that is identical to this. This is the more kind of matte gray colored one that comes on the 535 GRY-1. And I kind of like the contrast with kind of the matte gray up against the black G10. But again, I do have that solid black pocket clip. So what would you do? Would you do you like the contrast in the pocket clip, or would you put on a solid black clip? Because I can do that, and I'm kind of torn. You know, I think it looks just fine this way. Maybe I'll throw the other one on just to see how it looks, but I'd like to get your feedback. If this were your knife, would you want a solid black clip, or would you keep it the way it is? And then same thing with the those additional screws. But all in all, I think it turned out really good. I think it's, and I'll post some pictures on Instagram showing the before and after, and I think that'll really highlight the difference that these upgrades made, especially with the barrel spacers. Those bright green ones just had to go. But all in all, I'm happy with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon.